You also you have a partnership that is actually has sort of defined what is a new Facebook advertising product, a real-time kind of product per se. So the company called Optimal.
Correct.
And I'd like you to tell me a little bit about that, because I want to then talk about that in the construct of programmatic and what that means. So will you tell me a little bit about the product?
Yeah. So if you look to Optimal, Optimal is a so-called strategic PMD. So that's how Facebook works with the marketing partners. They have the PMDs. So what we did is we integrated our Firehouse, if you like, into their backend, and that enables them to buy inventory in real time. So the project that we did to date, we bought inventory through the Facebook Exchange. So that's a real-time platform, and it allowed us to have these TV synced advertisements. We did a couple of projects for some large entertainment studios, and the good thing there is that we actually see them coming back for more. So obviously we share the data with them, and they like what they see, and they like the lift, the increase in user engagement. And yeah, we're expanding that relationship also to other clients outside the entertainment sector.
But that, just to sort of talk about that in a little bit more detail, I mean, that partnership is really based on a couple of hypotheses, right? One is that, for example, when people are listening to radio or watching television, they're also on Facebook, right?
Yeah, correct.
And I mean, how critical is that how have you actually brought those two worlds together, right? I mean, how have you threaded that needle per se as far as understanding what the real audience behavior is? And then is there a constant improvement process? Like, how do you actually refine it and improve upon it?
Yeah, so it's a numbers game. So it's all about, for example, Facebook, 80 million people use Facebook while watching television. So the chances that somebody, let's say a male 25 is watching ESPN, there's a very high likelihood that this particular person is watching ESPN, let's say on Monday Night Football, watching Monday Night Football. So in order to get to this one-on-one verification, basically, we need to do additional targeting. And I think that's, let's say, for next year, an important step for us in the industry to kind of leverage other data sources to have better targeting.
And do you think that, so where does first-party data come into it, right? Because one of the conversations right now, specifically on social and Facebook in particular, i.e. with CPG brands, is kind of retargeting, right? Exposure, and then be able to thread the needle using their first-party data basis. When do you think that's going to come in and be an important part of leveraging the creative as the trigger?
I think 2013 was all about, let's say, establishing the concept. Now, I think we kind of passed that phase now, and 2014 will all about okay, how can we increase the effectiveness on top of what we already did today? So definitely, let's say, predictive GRPs, that's something that we are working on today. All kind of first-party, but also maybe third-party cookie data, bringing into the mix to have a more targeted experience and a more a one-on-one relation.
That's browser cookie data specifically.
Yep.
Okay. And where does this sort of settle out? I mean, where does this fit into, especially when we talk about predictive GRPs, right? Do you think that your technology eventually becomes a place where it sort of is used in a buying scenario in lieu of a targeting scenario to, for example, make sure that your commercial is performing when it's delivered with an audience? Like, how do you think, is there another side of the coin which is more about, we were talking about accountability, right? And things like that as it relates to ads. Is there something there that we haven't tapped yet for television?
Could be. But our first focus with this product is to make an actionable trigger to kind of extend the TV reach into digital. Okay. In a meaningful and also in the end in a measurable way, of course, because the power of this product is that you kind of merge the emotion and the reach of television with the transparency and the actionability of digital.